Pokémon Scarlet and Violet are around the corner, releasing in just a few days. I think what we have seen so far has been pretty interesting, and I'm definitely looking forward to experiencing it. Though as of right now, there are still some aspects we don't know about the game yet, and I have a list of things I hope will be included in this game. So I'm Shiro, and in this video, I'll share my top 5 hopes for Pokémon Scarlet and Violet. Let's dive in. Number 5. A first fairy specialist to have a full team. In my last video, I used the method to find the strongest specialist for each type. The fairy type was the only type where there were no full teams of 6 Pokemon. The strongest specialist only had up to 5. Now to be fair, the fairy type has only been around since Gen 6, while all the other types have been around since Gen 1 or 2. This probably explains why we've yet to see a fairy specialist with a full team. The upcoming generation will be the 4th one, including the fairy type, so it'll be pretty interesting to finally see some fairy gym leader, an elite 4 member, evil team member, or even a rival with a full buffed up team, and of course along with some new Paldean fairy Pokemon. Speaking of new Pokemon, number 4, an amount of new Pokemon around Gen 5's amount. Every time a new region is announced, one of the main things I look forward to are the new Pokemon. It's probably one of the main things most of you guys look forward to as well. I just always have a lot of fun exploring the new Pokédex when a game comes out, finding out which ones intrigue me overall, which ones I'll add to my team, which one is the next Pikachu clone, etc. That's why I hope that Paldea brings us a bundle of new Pokemon so we can have a long list to react to, specifically around the Univers Mount, because it is currently the region with the most native Pokemon, totaling at 155. Coming in a close second is Hoenn with 134. If we could get an amount of new Pokemon around Univers, or at least Hoenns, I would find that very interesting. This next hope is probably the most personal and quirky of all, but number 3, more similarities to other odd-numbered generations. If you take a close look at the past generations, you'll find certain patterns or similarities. Consider the following examples. In the 2nd generation, the Gold and Silver games were released. Double of 2 is 4, and guess what remakes we got in the 4th generation? That's right, Heart Gold and Soul Silver. But there's more. In the 3rd generation, Ruby and Sapphire were released. Double of 3 is 6, and in the 6th generation, we got Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Lastly, in the 4th generation, the Diamond and Pearl games were released. Double of 4 is 8, and in the 8th generation, we got Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. But moving on to the main point, if you notice lately, the latter odd-numbered generations have been following a pattern. Both of their sequels came in the form of a duo, just like their first games. So we all know that for Gen 9 we're getting Scarlet and Violet. And it may be too soon to ask, but how will its sequels come out? As the next odd-numbered generation, I would find it really cool if they also came as a duo, just to follow the pattern. Though some might think that it would be more realistic if it just came out as a DLC, like Sword and Shield sequels. But as for the main games, I would find it cool if they had some similarities to the Hoenn games, because 3 times 3 is 9, and this is the 9th generation. Also, this is my 9th video this year, and guess what generation we're mainly discussing in this video. Back to the topic of new Pokemon. Number 2, new Pokemon with unused typings. So far, there are many Pokemon out there with different type combinations, but not all possible type combinations have been used. And while we were given Pokemon with cool typings, there are still some out there that I'm surprised haven't been used yet, like Electric and Fighting, or Bug and Dragon. Think how cool it would be if we can finally get those type combinations with new Paldean Pokemon. A few other new type combinations I hope we get are Fire and Grass, Poison and Steel, Ice and Poison, and Fire and Fury. I just hope the Pokemon Company used this region as an opportunity to whip up at least some of these cool and used combinations. And hey, who knows? The Fire and Fairy one could be used in the full fairy team we discussed earlier. Don't worry you guys, it could still be taken down with Poison. And finally, my number 1 hope is the lore taking us to somewhere not visible in the map. Now don't get me wrong, what we can already see in the map is very appealing. I'll even go as far as to say that this is one of the most interesting Pokemon maps ever. There are many areas that I can't wait to explore. But one area that really caught my attention was, obviously, the center. It's like a huge arena filled with smoke, and I really wonder what's going on down there. I wonder when the story takes us inside and what we will see. What is hiding at the center of Paldea? Another area covered with smoke is at the top right corner of the region. Now I don't know if that is actually hiding something as well, but it is possible. And if so, what is it? It almost looks like a connection to a post-game area that's not that associated with the rest of the region. But what would be even crazier is if we end up somewhere we currently can't see at all on this map. Just like how we ended up riding through space in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Wherever the story takes us in this game, I sure hope that at one point it would be somewhere surprising. And those are my top 5 hopes for Scarlet and Violet. Looking forward to seeing if they happen in this game. By the time, what are your thoughts? Do you have similar hopes or different ones? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to tackle that like button and subscribe for more videos. Until next time, see ya.